cover is formula variable in Bex query and its usage. Okay, so what is the use of there? Already we learned about variables. In the variables, let me go into the system and then we discuss. Okay, so if you go here where we can create variables, so in the info provider section, so currently, before that I have a this is my composite provider. In this composite provider I created already one query. Okay, I have Calmonth on my rows, quantity on the key figure section. So if I execute my query, so this is my initial query output. Okay, so I have some data from January to July. Now in the already on the filter screen, on the global filter, I created a variable for the Calmonth which is of type interval. Okay, so this is what we call this below one, whichever filter I created here, we call it as a variable. Okay, so why exactly we use variables? Variables are used to provide selection screen to the report. Okay, so whenever we execute report, it initially before before giving output, it provides for the selection screen, and based upon the selections we provided here, system will provide you the output. Okay, it will handles to minimize the data set also coming to the report output. Okay. Now this is called as variable. So how to create a variable? You can go to info provider section. On whichever field you want variable, you can go to that particular field under this for a particular info object. You have different folders. Under this characteristic value variables, under this folder you can create multiple variables based upon the different properties. So for example, if I go for the existing variable here, what are the properties here? This is processed by manual input, interval, optional. Okay, so if I try to these are mainly for the selection screen. Now we can create another kind of variable which is not used for the selection screen but which performs some other operation. So we are going to learn that variable now. So we called it as a formula variable. It means we use that variable in the formulas. Okay, we use that variable in the formula but not for the selection screen. It's a formula variable. For example, on January month, this is my quantity, this is my quantity. So this particular quantity 559 came because of multiple document numbers that are posted on the backend side. But if you want to know how many document numbers got posted for January month, how many document numbers got generated for the February, for March, April. So how you get to know? By dragging and dropping document number into your rows, you get to know the different document numbers. But if you drill down with your document number into your report, you are getting document number information also here, which means if it is 1000 or 2000 document numbers, your report is becoming very big. Okay, very huge data set is coming here. But our requirement is we want the count of the document numbers, not the document number information. So how can I get this count? It is not possible. Okay, changing this document number into count directly, which is not possible. So we need some mechanism to identify the unique count of these document numbers. Okay, why I am saying unique count? Because along with document number, in one document number we have multiple line items, correct? So if you in the backend report, if you consider each row is one document number, that is fine. But in the backend, each row is a document number along with the item. So it means the number of rows doesn't give you the correct document number count. Okay, so definitely you need a mechanism to identify the unique document number count for January month, February, like that. So to derive this kind of scenarios, we use this formula variable. Okay, I will show you how we create this formula variable to get the document number count into our report. Our requirement is to create this formula variable for the document number in order to get the count of the document number. So in our query designer, we go to this document number info object, right click on it, go to new variable, and provide your name. So document number underscore count. Because we are not using this variable for the selection screen, So we are not going to use any naming convention here like single and all. Okay. So after this, provide your text document count, and then type of variable. Type of variable you must select as a formula, because it is of type formula variable. You must type, select it as a formula. And then processing by. This processing by we learned about already manual input here. Now here we are going to provide replacement path. Okay. When you say replacement path, you need to select the reference characteristic also. The reference characteristic we select the same info object. So it's CJD, so GJD doc num. Okay, same info object I am providing as a reference info object here, and then click on next. In this particular replacement variable info replace variable with we have two options, info object variable. I am going to use same info object. Okay, this option only I am going to use, and then click on finish button. So once you click on finish button, you will see you have one new window came. Here we have multiple tabs. Now we need to go to the replacement path tab. In this tab you have an option called replacement with. So whatever data coming from this info object with which you want to replace it with. So here we have multiple options: key, name, external characteristic, reference, and sign change. Okay. So generally as per our requirement, we select here characteristic reference constant 1. It means for all the data coming from this one, it will take the characteristic reference as 1 here, like this. Okay. Now reference 1, and then save. That's it. Only this one we will take care. Remaining all no need to touch. We need to, on the replacement path with, we need to select a constant 1, so that for each document number it will replace with the constant number 1, so that we will get the count of the document number. Now click on save. So once you saved it, then now go to the query designer. Now whatever you created, because it is a formula variable, you see, because you created it as a formula variable, you cannot see it from here. Okay, formula variables can be seen only at info object level. So if you go here, refresh your folder and expand your info object, here you can see your variable gdoc number count. Okay, so now how to use it at query level? Now come to the query, go to the sheet definition. Now on the key figure section, create a new formula, because formula variable can be used under formulas. Create a formula, change the description of this formula to doc count. Okay, now here we need to place that variable. So the formula variable, where we can see formula variables, the formula variables can be seen under this variable section. Okay, if you click on variables, here you can see your variable. So you see there is a variable gdoc. So if you provide your formula variable with proper name, then you can easily identify here. Okay, yeah, as per the naming convention, I think we need to give var also before it, because other variables are like that. So this is your formula variable which you created. Select it, then click on OK. Now click on save button. Now let's try to run this report one more time in the AFO. Now I'm taking a new sheet here. So not new sheet, I am trying to execute on same sheet. Insert data source, select data source. This is my query. I am not giving any selection on cal month. Click on OK. Now you see doc count came. So doc count is 12, 6, 7, 5, 8. So January 12 contains 12 documents. How come why 12 documents here? 1003. 12 records, I think it is. 4, it must come, give 4 actually. 1 second. So we got here 12 here. January month we got 12 records here. February month we got 6 records here. Okay. So why we have 12? Generally for the January document number we see only 4 document numbers, but we see 12 here. Why? Because if I go to the design of this composite provider, this composite provider was built on the provider which provider it was built? it was created on this composite provider, SRP says. If I go to this composite provider, it was coming from this standard ADS4. So if I go to data of this ADS4, here I can see for January month, we have 12 records are there. So that's why it is giving the number as 12. Okay, so it means the count, because in my formula variable, I created a definition saying that each record coming from the backend replace with constant 1. So we have 12 records in the backend. So each record is replaced with 1. So finally it got the count of 12. So for February it is 6 records, March it is 7 records. So in the January 12 records, yeah, we have unique document numbers. If we consider in these 12 records, if I go for the unique document numbers, we got it as a one second, document numbers, why I have everything. Oh, all these are unique only, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 12 numbers. So, but why here I have only these numbers here? In this query, then what was the problem? In the selection screen I applied. No, something wrong. Okay, let me bring, document number here. I'm having only 4 document numbers, but something wrong. I given cal month this one and the document number this one, but why system is not showing all document numbers here. Yep. So why we have only 4 numbers here? The problem here is, this query, we already applied some exceptions and conditions in our previous sessions. So if I go to this, Beck's conditions, there is suppression less than 50. If I remove suppression, then you see there are 12 numbers are there. So then you are getting the 12 document numbers here. Okay. So that is the problem. Yeah. Sorry for the confusion. So the document number, whatever formula variable we created, it is working as expected. Okay. It is fetching the correct number here. So because of formula suppression, here I see only 4 numbers, but in the backend, generally we have, all the, if I remove the suppression here, then it is providing all the 12 document numbers. Okay. Yeah. In real time also, you may get sometimes confusion. So you need to know, different conditions which can affect our report output. Okay. So like this. Here, that's all about formula variable. So formula variable is mainly used in order to get the count from the backend, record count from the backend table. It's normal, not normal record count, based upon how many document numbers we got. So using this count in the real time, we generate some of the KPIs like to get the average. Okay. For example, average quantity sold for one material. It means we need to know number of records to create the to generate the average value. Okay. So in such cases, we may need to know the how to create this formula variable to calculate such averages. Okay. That's all about formula variable. I'm stopping recording.